Okay, as you see over here, it's a very good, it's nice hemshich over here. Chlal, almost every year, this kufa would be a hemshich. We call the Rebbe's hemshechim are usually shorter hemshechim. And the Rebbe hemshich is between 2 to 4 Maamarim. Probably 2 to 3 is the most nafis. And so the hemshechim, when did the hemshechim take place? So there's the Tishrei hemshich. Often there's 2 hemshechim in Tishrei. The first half of Tishrei, the second half of Tishrei. Yitzchak Kislev starts a hemshich. And Pesach. So in the earlier years, when the Rebbe brings the second night of Pesach, so the hemshich would start usually the second night of Pesach. At first, the Rebbe would, the early years, the first year, the Rebbe only said Sichis. And then, I think Tezayin, Yud Zayin, the Rebbe started Maamar as well, the second night of Pesach. This went till Tafshin Lamed, right? It was the last Pesach, the Rebbe did a Seder. So after the Seder upstairs, it would come downstairs and Fabring. So there would be a Maamar, that usually would be the first Maamar of the Hemshech, followed by Achron Pesach, and then often the next Shabbos. Then, in the Lameds, when that Maamar stopped, when that Fabring stopped, so usually the Hemshech would start Achron Pesach. Sometimes the Hemshech would start on Yud Aleph Nisan, Maamar, and then the Hemshech Achron Pesach, and then usually the Shabbos after that. So here it starts Achron Pesach, then Be'ibra and Shmini, and then B'Rosh Chodsheicha. And so the first part of the Hemshech, Tzeischa Meretz Mitzrayim, so they bring here after the Maamar. See, interesting. This is a word that the Rebbe said when the Rebbe went to the star. Right, the Rebbe would go around to the Bachrim Seder and the Arteira. Other years would be later the Iranians that Rebbe went by when they came here. Machan Chana. And it was like a whole Seder. It was a very interesting Seder. The Rebbe would go around the star before the Rebbe started his own Seder. So the Rebbe says there that because the Kviyas of Pesach is B'chamishi v'Shabbos, it was like the Kviyas of this year, which is the same Kviyas as the first time, Kimei Tzeischa Meretz Mitzrayim, so Yiratzin that Yimukuyim, the Tzveita Chilek from the Pasuk, are in the Floys, the Gula Mitzvah Shlei. It's right away, the Rebbe started off Pesach with this Inyan, right, that this year, here's in the Yaman, they have Heintek Yar, is Mitzvah Meretz Mitzrayim. So it's not just chazering a Maamar Chazal and the Indian, and Haftarah. But it was putting up, it's a big kesher that the Takit, it's Negei L'Maisa, so that's how the Hemshech starts. That's the first Maamar of the Hemshech. Very Geshmak in Maamar. Okay, Kirodu, what's the Nekud of the Maamar? To get involved in Gashis. Okay, that's one way of putting it. How about another? How about reframing? It's another nikud, another mahal. Right. The word isn't to get involved in gashmias and to get involved in ruchnius. The word is, and this is similar. We've had this Kama Maamar in different oases throughout this year. It's interesting. You see this theme throughout the year, right? The Rebbe is weiter. Which Maamar was it? Was it with this Kislev Maamar? The Rebbe is going very strong into the Yosef HaTzadik model. Right? Which this model that throughout history and even in Chassidus, Friedrich Rebbeim, this Meretag and Yosef HaTzadik is very, very unique. It's very unique. Right? In the Sichos where it explains that there's the Avis, there's the Shvatim, and then there's Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef is a whole other level. Right? The Avis and the Shvatim, both of them have nishkatan with Gashmis. The reason they weren't involved in Gashmis was for two opposite reasons. The others weren't involved in Gashmis because they had no shaykhs. They were pushing mufshatim. I don't know what's going on. Like, they didn't recognize the world. They were really tzoy, not as escapism, but as that's who they are. That was their true self. There were no shaykhs in Gashmis. The shvatim that were already yored in biyah, they were really tzoy. Why? As an escape, because they can't deal with it. Because if they'll go into Ilam Haz, it's going to drag them down. So they were really tzoy. Yosef HaTzadik is able to be involved in Gashmis. And that's Drei in Mitzrayim, Mori de Chuzbene, running the show, running the economy of Mitzrayim and the ganze Welt. And at the same time, Nishar B'Tzidka, right? Yosef was Yosef. So that Nekudah, that on the one hand to be in Mitzrayim and yet stay Hecher, is a unique Indian of Yosef. But in Maamar, you see this especially in the Maamar of this year, the Rebbe Kovetz in this Indian, Nachamal and Nachamal, to bridge that gap, to be able to be in Teva, to be able to be in Welt. What did I say? There's two kinds in the lashon of this Maamar. There's this is towards the end of the Maamar, right on page 24. Where is it? Page 23, 24. That there's two kinds of neshamas. There's nunayama, and there's neshamas of elam atachtin. There's neshamas. There are those. What's the Giblunim going on here? Kela Shefer, Vein Fiel Yelanar. What's it? Very important. Right. So there's neshamas. It's very interesting. He has very basic. The Mois explain that nunayama. He says stad neshamas. There are those people that feel their chayes. They feel more connected. They feel their shaychus to the Eibishter. And then there are neshamas, there are people that also need avoida kasha v'ispoinos to come to the akar shesh bal bayis l'biruz. It's a pashta zah. If to daven, if to it's not natural. It's not intuitive to them.
We explained Yosef with the first book. It's not making him something special.
The what?
It's just saying that Yosef is also like that. That even when he's down here.
It's that model because the Maamar doesn't always Yosef. It's others, but it's that nekuda. Be'etzem Achron Shel Pesach, the Rebbe would cough in this sugi Achron Shel Pesach a lot, because the Maamorim of Pesach. I'm not sure if we discussed it before. Pesach. There's the Hemshich in Hemshich Ayin Beis. There's a many Hemshich. Right? So there's the Hemshich, what's called the Rebbe's Bar Mitzvah Hemshich. Right, the Rebbe's Bar Mitzvah was on Friday. You know, Ayin Hey was on Friday. And that Friday night, the Maamar was said Friday night in Tichitimim in Lubavitch. So starting that Friday night, the next few Maamarim, it goes on for a while, especially those 3-4 Maamarim, but then throughout the spring and summer, are about the Nekud of Hafach Yom Liyabasha and the Choshech Atzma Yor, the sprach of this Maamar. Right, so right in those Maamarim, it speaks about this Inyan of the Maila of Moshe Rabbeinu and Mashiach, of the people that are in this world, in Elam Hazeh, Moshe Leipzig time Megaveh, right, being in this world, in living in Elam Hazeh, not by living above Elam Hazeh, in Elam Hazeh at the same time, Erlep Den Atzilus. So there's so Achron Shel Pesach and Maamar, the Rebbe would chazer this toich, either Mamish chazer that Maamar or the Yonim of that Maamar. After the first time the Rebbe chazer was V'nigla Tesvav. Or Lachrein in labels Yemanim was Sparsim that I think his son chazer the Maamar, Mendy chazer the Maamar by his L'chaim, by his Vart. And Rebbe came back, he's returned to Yisrael. Rebbe came and told the Rebbe that the Rebbe asked which Maamar did he chazer. So he told the Rebbe V'nigla Tesvav. And the Rebbe I think made with his hand or something. It's not true. Like it was his spilus that he chazer the Maamar. There were a lot of nachas from the Maamar. So there it's chazers over those Maamarim over there, but Heinif Matzazu. And there the Rebbe says, when the Rebbe chazered, what it says in Ayin Beis, there's some Moshe Rabbeinu, so the Rebbe said, Asedah Neshamis Vasalikus B'Pshitis V'Emus B'Schachos, and Emus B'Pshitis V'Elikus B'Schachos. So the Avis, Lamashal, the Avis are what? Elikus B'Pshitis or Emus B'Pshitis? What are the Avis? Ra, Mitzchak Yankim, yeah? See, you're scared to say, because whichever way you're going to be, kind of Gnusam, yeah. The Avis were Emus B'Pshitis. Because Avraham Avinu searched for the Eibishter, right? He found the Eibishter through Sichloi, right? In Vor Barichis, in the Rambam, in the Ginevah Vedazara, right? So Avraham Avinu, he says, Oilam Yisrael B'Pshitis, he saw the sun, he saw the moon. Through the sun and the moon, he was able to come to Hakar and the Eibishter. The Biz Hittis Allah Bal Abira, and then he recognized the Shem. So the Pshitis was Velt, and the Schachos, the Chiddush was Elikus. Moshe Rabbeinu's Oilam B'Schachos, Elikus B'Pshitis, Oilam B'Schachos. The Shama Detzil. So it says, the Rebbe says that. So the way the Rebbe Chazer it is that Moshe Rabbeinu, still is also Neshama, says Moshe Rabbeinu, Nesiei Chabad. I was like, the Rebbe added in that Nekodah. Moshe Rabbeinu, Nesiei Chabad, but them is Elikus B'Pshitis and Meilus B'Schachos. Mashiach in the Avis. Another Maamar speaks about, I don't think it's brought down. Another Maamar speaks about Rashbi was also this Nekodah of Elikus B'Pshitis and Meilus B'Schachos. So it's a very unique. It says it comes from a place of Elikus B'Pshitis. Because of Elikus B'Pshitis, so you're able to be in Olam Hazeh. Basically, when on the one hand we say that the Avis, they were royed so because they had no shaykhs to Gashmis, right? Not because they were running away. They had no shaykhs to Gashmis. So that would imply Elikus B'Pshitis says no. You could have no shaykhs to Gashmias, but oilumis b'pshitis, meaning the oilumis exist. They don't talk to me. It doesn't mean anything to me, but it exists. It exists in a way of bittul, in a way that it's meaningless. Right? Dafke Moshe Rabbeinu, Dafke Yosef HaTzadik here. Dafke tzadikim, where elikus b'pshitis, so by them, if it's elikus b'pshitis, then the velt alein is a Krishna Hashem v'aykel oilam, that the kel oilam, not oilam, the oilam alein is elikus. So they're able to be in oilam hazeh, in mari dechushbene, and be with vekos elikus. Because elikus b'pshitis doesn't take you away from velt; it allows you to be in velt. Right, so we speak about these big tzaddikim, but the nekuda that Rebbe read in the Maamarim is that das magme von jeder ein, and this is the kunst. So the chayres you have the shamis of Alman Stim, and then you have shamis of Alman Diskalia. So the chayre you're living in a place where you're not in. So he says, are you alikus of pshittis or you're alikus of pshittis? You're alikus of pshittis. Alman, the shamis of Alman Stim, and maybe they're more shaykh to alikus of pshittis. Diskalion, as the Rebbe says here, that's ultimate oilumis v'pshittis, not alikus v'schachas. And yet, you could live like a Rebbe Mesur Nesaba and Yosef HaTzadik, the Chushbene. It's not a stir. It's not a stir. That even though this is who you are, Avedas Midaras Alman Stimet, through Limud HaTorah and Kimei Mitzvahs, you live this level of Merkab and Bittul Lava. Fine. Right, so that's the Kud is trying to bring out in the mind. And that's the Kiyas Hayam. Right? B'tzias Mitzrayim sort of culminated. The peak was climax was Kriyas Yamsuf. Now Derech said now Yitzias from this Galus Galus to Shlema. There is the Kiyas Anar, Kiyas Hayam, which is that Nekudah. Now earlier on in the Maamar, so it asks the Shaila, what's this kashik kriyas yamsuf? It's bechlal. What's that kashik kriyas yamsuf? It's shver by meibishtin. Kui fully. The Eibishter could do anything. What does it mean? What does it mean? It's hard. It's shver by. And if we're already speaking about something that's kasha, what should we take over instead of kriyas yamsuf? What should we mention? Kriyas oil. Kriyas oil is yesh meyayin. Kriyas yamsuf is yesh meyesh. The chaymer is already here. We change it to right, in Echanami. So Mayim usually is Nigarim, and now it's Oymet Kechoyma. Say that. But it's a kupnish to Briyash Mayim Varetz. So why don't we mention Briyash Mayim Varetz? So, and a few other questions. Here the Rebbe comes to the Nekudah that means what does Kasha mean? Right, so the Rebbe gives a Hagdara to what is Kasha. What does it mean Kasha Kriyas Yamsuf? But Rebbe says Shver Ba Meirishtim. What's the var? What does the Rebbe say? What is kasha? What makes it hard? What defines hard in this case? So the Hagdara that Rebbe gives is anyone remember from the Maamar?
Breaking chukash mayim v'aretz.
Breaking chukash mayim v'aretz. No. What's the big deal? Breaking chukash mayim v'aretz. Ekernal's tongue. What's the kunz? In other words, what's harder, breaking chukash mayim v'aretz or creating mayim v'aretz? Creating chukash mayim v'aretz. Huh? In other words, you have the guy that does the initial code, and then you have the hacker. What's harder to write the hacking is usually hard. It's a big issue. But no, creating is harder. Why breaking chukash mayim v'aretz is harder? So what's the pashas of pshat?
Made us say that it's harder.
Right, but so what? In Balbais Yecholitzim Kelim Misham, the Yisher can't destroy his own Seder. What's the big chiddush here? Do we really think that Yisher created a Seder and is now mugder in his Seder?
If the whole purpose of Teva is to be regular, and it's going against the Yisher's purpose for it.
Oh, so you're saying it's not pshat that it's hard that he created. So this is the ultimate question: could the Yisher create a stone that he can't lift? Right? Could he create Teva that he can't break? Whichever way you go, you end up in a problem. Right? Of course he can do anything. Right? So you're saying like this. What's the pshat harder in this case? Harder is nothing exists in isolation. right? Everything exists as part of Tachas HaKavod. Hashem created a world for a reason. There's a plan. And for this plan, there's many parts. One of the yisodas of this plan is that there's Teva, right? And the Meiser the Rebbe Chazer many times. Why the Alter Rebbe during the Meiser, why he had to stop the boat and then stop it, and then ask them to stop it again. Why couldn't he do it the first time? Because the first time was a Shviras HaTeva, and everything has to go through Teva. Breaking Teva is like a glitch in the system, and there's no glitch in the Eibusher system. It's not supposed to be that way. So, interesting, in the Sichos, the Rebbe speaks about this Inyan in different contexts, and it brings a lot of, and here it's very big kitzer, it's a few words. In the Sichos, in a few places, the Rebbe gives very interesting oises to this Inyan, and how it connects to the Vart here of the Avodah of B'kiyas Hayam. And what do you have to do? In other words, how do we get to this Inyan of B'kiyas Hayam? How do we get to this Inyan of connecting Teva and L'mayla Mat Teva? And that even Nunei Ara, Nivroim Sheba'aretz, should be able to live like Nivroim Sheba'yam. What does the Rebbe say? What do you have to do? Two things, right? There's L'mata L'mayla and L'mayla L'mata. Right? So you need the Ruach Azo. It says Harem Esmadcho and Teyas Yodcha Ala Yah. First Harem Esmadcho, go up, and then Teyas Yodcha Ala Yah. Where the end goal is Momayla Lamat. We want to bring Atzilus into Biyah. We want to bring Nuneyama, right? We want to bring Elikus Pshittas into a world of Boilus Pshittas. But in order to get there, you have to first transcend your own Hagbalas. We have to be able to sort of reach higher. You have to be able to peak beyond. And then we can draw that down. So one Sikha, there's a Sikha that Rebbe speaks about Tfilas Chana. A few sikhs of Tfilas Chana. There's a chilik yutet, there's a chilik of Tzeischa. And then there's a sikha of Yafas Sichas and Shalav the Yavis Miteras and Shalban. Also many sikhs on that. The sikha chilik chafei. But the Rebbe in both places there is something very very special. And both of them the Rebbe connects to the Nekudah of Tefillah, which the Rebbe connects to the Nekudah here of the Teyas Yodcha. Sorry, Harim Esmadcha, because Tefillah is Momata L'mayla. So Chazal say that Kama Hilchasad, what's lost in there, Avtzon, and many great halachas we learn about davening from Tfilas Chana. Tfilas Chana is sort of like this prototype, the archetype of davening. And we learn many halachas of davening from Tfilas Chana. What makes Tfilas Chana so unique? And it's not like we don't, it's like, okay, it's the tefillah that we have in the Tanakh, everything we start from the Tanakh. But there's the tefillahs, Yitzchak and Rivka are davening, and Moshe Rabbeinu, there's many tefillahs. The whole idea is here, the Nekudah the Rebbe says like this. What's the kunz of tefillah? Right? Chassidus, very often we have the difference between tefillah and bracha. Bracha is mamshech l'mayla l'mata, and there's a Torah is l'mayla l'mata, tefillah is l'mata l'mayla. What does tefillah do? Tefillah is yehi ratzin. Bracha, explain the Maamar, and what does a bracha do? Especially the Maamarim of like Boimer coming up, right? There's the Rashbi, what did Rashbi do? The Torah. Bracha is that there's hashpah already there. In the reservoir, right? It's there, it's ready to go. Just have to be mamshich it. Avracha is avracha, mavrich. You have to bring it down. It was hidden, it didn't come down for whatever reason. We have to be megaleh. Tefillah is yehira to make a ratzin chadash. The Eibusher has one plan, and we're changing the Eibusher's plan. The Eibusher is not planning for there to be rain. He's not planning that this couple should have kids. He's not planning that this guy should find the shidduch. He's not planning that this week is zoned, whatever it is. And we have to play with the back end, right? We have to change the seder. So that's the Maila Tefillah Yehiratz. So if that's the case, if the Vart of Tefillah is Yehiratz, since when we're looking for the ultimate Tefillah, where are you going to find the ultimate Tefillah? The one that pushed the boundaries the most. Because that's what Tefillah is. Tefillah is about changing course. Which Tefillah changes the course the most? The Chayr is not supposed to rain, but it rains. Fine, but there wasn't rain. Now we added rain. In other words, it's not the fact we took a dry day, we took a drought, and hafach, that the drought itself is giving rain. No, instead of a drought, there's rain. You take a Isha Akara, and an Isha Akara has kids, you're breaking the system itself. Because an Akara cannot have kids. There's no rechem sometimes, yeah? It's an impossibility. And then what happens? We don't replace her with somebody else. The akara allein hat kinder. The akara herself has kids. That's against the rules. How could akara have kids? So that's number one. But if that was the whole vart, we wouldn't run to Chana. Yitzchak and Rivka, right? She was an akara, and there were other akaras before. You say that. I'll say that many tzaddikim were akaris because they were there in this Avtzon wasn't tzaddikim. What's the concept of tefillas Chana? Chana didn't just ask for kids and have kids even though she was an akar. What kind of kid did she ask for? Zera nashim, right? A tzaddik, that's someone that's going to be lavaya kol yamav, nazi. And then Chana then has a child, and it actually plays out. This tefillah that she asked for, it played out in real life. That she actually had. Who did she have? She had Shmuel, yeah. She had Shmuel, and Shmuel was mamish that. Now, so what else? Chana's asking that she should give birth to basically to a tzaddik, or tzaddik gomer. Or tzaddik v'rasha loy kamar. She was literally destroying the system, not just the system that Akara has kids. The system of Kedusha, the system of the way that Eibishter wants the world to function. Because if you take out a tzaddik v'rasha loy kamar, if you take out this nekuda that everyone has b'chira chavshis, the whole Dirach Tainer stops making sense, right? The whole system doesn't make sense. The whole world is predicated on that model. And Chana is saying, I'm asking, and I'm davening to destroy that model, to go against that model. She's asking for something you're not allowed to ask for. And she got it. The Eibishter followed her tefillah. The Eibishter followed her tefillah and gave her someone basically that was born a tzaddik. In other words, what it says in the Tzeischa, like technically you could say that she asked for something and then she had Shmuel and it worked out. She was a chassidus shemame, It worked out and she ended up being what she asked for. But you read and Elia Kohen tells her that Hashem yitin es sheilasech asher sha'alt me'imai. You're going to get whatever you ask for. That's what you're going to get. In other words, it actually played out that way. Shmuel is a teitzah of his mother's tefillah. So it's not stam going against the system. It's breaking the whole fabric of creation. So it says, how is it possible? How can you do that? And that's the koyach of tefillah, not stam tefillah. What do we learn be'ikr from tefillah schana? Kavanas tefillah. Ultimate kavana, right? She has such kavana that Elia Kohen was disturbed and misunderstood her. Because kavanas tefillah is what's in the avodah tefillah. That bittul, as a yiddah sich mispatel, und geht raus von sich, und geht sich über zum Eibishten, so we transcend the Ratz, we go to the Baal Ratz. All the rules, even the Eibishter's own rules, even the rules that make up the fabric of Brias HaOlam, are also sort of put to the side. So that's one dogma, and that's Tzeischa that Rebbe brings. Similar nekuda in different Isis that Rebbe brings when Negeya to Eliezer B'Dav Rav. Yafas yichasam shal avdi yavis b'teirasam shal bana. Right, this is a Maamar Chazal with ribuy drushim on it, chassidus, machlal, and darshan like sichasam shal avdi yavis b'teirasam shal bana. So what is the yafas sichasam shal avdi yavis? Where do you see the mile of sichasam shal avdi yavis b'teirasam shal bana? So Eliezer davens. Right, what's Eliezer davening for? He's davening that he should have, that he should find a wife for Yitzchak, the right wife, and she should come with him. And she should be masking to come along. How could you daven about someone else's choices? You can't influence someone else's choices. They have their own bechira. She could decide if she wants to go, she doesn't want to go, she wants to marry, she doesn't want to marry, and she wants this problem, doesn't want to. How can you ask for someone else's choices should be affected? There's a myriad of dollars, which probably at different stages in life you could it come into nuts. I didn't didn't see there was a video. There was a gem video. But I don't know if they had this clip. Ron Nachman. Yeah, they just had one of the gem videos the last few weeks. Was about it. The mayor of Ariel. So he came to the Rebbe multiple times, and each time he would come, he would show the Rebbe a map and how much he's building this yeshuv and bigger. So one of the times he tells the Rebbe that I have a lot of snagdos. Politics, Tzeischa. It's why you're going into politics. Politics is not it's not fun. It's not a fun place to be. Yeah? It's masculine. So, he says there's a lot.
I don't know what that is.
See, as we say, different zone. There's a lot of people fighting him, and people trying to do harm, and people thinking about different ways how to harm him. And basically, he asked the Rebbe that all their machshavos should be taken care of, or should be sidelined, or it shouldn't play out, whatever it is. The Rebbe should make for their machshavos. Anyway, this is something very, very interesting. The Rebbe said, it tells him, how you're asking me a bracha about someone else's machshavos? How could you be about blessing for someone else's machshavos? They're going to think what they're going to think. It's not you can't control what someone else thinks about you. The worst that could happen is that you in your personal life, you shouldn't be affected. But the other people shouldn't be mizam kol minei eitzes serois and machshavos. They shouldn't be in yidoivos and achitoifels coming up to eitzes how to fight you. You can't ask for that. You see it in dollars. You can't ask for that. How could you control? How could you ask me for a bracha about someone else's machshavos? It's his b'chir. Or if the Rebbe doesn't go into nigzer menashemayim siman was it chaf? Hey, you guys okay with siman? There's no one could than anything al nigzer menashemayim. Avaya omer lekalel. If someone does something to you, he can do something to you that you didn't deserve. You're not supposed to get mo'mayla. But here they're saying a different kudah. If someone else's life, you can't control someone else's thought process, someone else's machshavos. You can ask that you yourself shouldn't end up being affected by it. So, but here he's asking and he's davening, and he was matzliach that basically he's affecting her b'chira. The Rebbe says that this is what Avram tells him. That the Rebbe yishlach malachei lefanecha. Yishlach malachei lefanecha is a very unique bracha. The malach comes and basically changes the Seder Hadvar. That b'derech klal we have no control over other people's b'chira. If we would, again, it would completely destroy society. If we had mind control over the entire world, we would control what people do. The whole side of society is that they have b'chira chavshis. And here we're able to affect people's b'chira. Was wird sein mit b'chira? But it doesn't fully answer the shaila there. It's like, it's not, in this area, we're able to break that. How are you able to break that? How are you able to overcome that? So the Rebbe says this nikud. Sichasan shal avdei avis. Number one, avdei avis, when you're eved, bittul, eved Avraham Anoichim. And number two, bezeh gufe, sichasan. What's sicha? In sicha la tefillah. Through tefillah, when a person's daven, when a person get the reis von sich, mata l'mayla, you're able to leave the Gidrei Oilam, not only the Gidrei Oilam down here, the way the Avtzon created them, the way that they are integral to the whole Seder Habriya. That's the unique bracha, Yishlach Malachi, that the Malach basically almost like gives you that, is the Shliach, to give you that koyach to affect, to change the Bechira.
And that's a result of...
And then when the Rebbe teaches the Rosh, we get the Shlichus. That Nisidei Reino, Avdei Avis, that Avraham Avinu, the Nasi Adar sends you out on shlichus. So you go out on shlichus and you're trying to affect people's lives. L'chayra, what's the most a shliach could expect from himself? Right? So Zavart, mimad nish von uns uftan, or tan nicht uftan. L'chayra, I can't decide if these people are miskar. If I'm going to tell you, put on tefillin. He's not going to put on tefillin. It's going to affect his life. It's going to change his life. Yeah, no, that's not up to me. What can I do? I could be mashpia, I could try, I could be dedicated, I could be motivated, I could try to push it. There's almost that much I could do. So Shliach can come and say, you can't sort of ask from me, you can't demand from me, and I can't expect from myself to actually affect and change a person's life. Because the guy is koyach b'chira. It says, but this tells us, Yafas yichasan shal avdei avis, if a Shliach goes out and he's avdei avis, Eved Avraham Anoichim, and he's mispal, it says he has that bittul, then he is able to affect the b'chira of his mushpoim, the b'chira of his mikurav. If it doesn't change the people, if he sees that the people aren't changing, it's felt in emes. It could come from your avodah. This completely turns on its head the whole Havana B'chira Chavshis B'Seder. There's different ways. It's one of the artists that says when we get to Eliezer and Rivka, that maybe we could say, it seems the way that the saying, you could say just like the Rambam explains, that the Gzeira is on this person, can't say this person, but the Am, there will come up, right, the Mitzrim will be Meshabed the Yid, the way the Rambam explains, right? It doesn't be a specific person. So there will be a woman, there will be a girl that comes to Yitzchak. But we're not goes around a specific woman. But that there will be that we could be poil. I don't know, there was a time we get the shlichs, maybe that could be the vart as well, that we're not goes around a specific mekurev, but that you will have ashpa, and that people will be niskarev. It doesn't say clear, but we don't have to go into that. That's already trying to give a hezron and tam b'das to explain this in. But that's the biggest side here. In other words, the kunz over here is not just breaking nature. Every nest is shoyver teva, and mayim v'dam is not shoyver teva, and man min hashemayim is not against teva. It's not breaking the etzim rules, the fabric of this world, as the Eibishter created, as the Eibishter wants it. But kosher kriyas yamsov, that is shoyver this thing. The same thing that there was Masber Nesichas also to get to Shidduch. That's why Zivug is kosher kriyas yamsov. Because you're taking two people that be'etzim shouldn't, it's not supposed to work out. It's not supposed to function. It's two complete opposites. And you're putting them together. It doesn't make any sense. Even though the whole task of the world is brutal, but at the same time, it doesn't. It's against the klali habriya. It's not supposed to work together. Which is why it has to be b'chol rega v'rega. Chazer the Maisa that the Rogatchover and Chaim Brisker. So they met once, and they had an ongoing machlokes. One of the machlokes was is nisuin a one-time thing, or it's pulling him shechus. So the Rogatchover time is pulling him shechus. So as they're talking, in the middle of the conversation, Chaim tells the Rogatchover, Mazel Tov. What's Mazel Tov? Tzeischa, you just got married. What's in the code? There says just like kriyas yamsov. Kriyas yamsov had to be b'chol rega v'rega. Why did the ruach kodem az have to be b'chol rega v'rega? Because take it away for one moment. It's a chiddush. Take away the chiddush. Take away the mechadish. The chiddush ceases to exist. It's the same thing. Nisuin, a binyan diyah. I'm telling you, you got married, so you stay married forever. It's the normal ezach. No, it's a chiddush b'chol rega v'rega. Even if you're married for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, it's a chiddush. It still doesn't make any more sense. Sometimes it makes even less sense. But that's the koyach of binadiyah. That's the koyach of dafke, the koyach ein soy. That brings down this inyan to break through the chuk shemayim. Good. Fine.